Yeah, coming off that defeat from last weekend,
You got more answers right than I thought you would.
I thought, I was actually
great.
I thought I was actually did okay. I was talking to the mayor who happened to be watching, and he's like, "I think I had one of those."
How was it fair for you guys?
Good. We had a good year this year. I didn't hear a count yet, but I know Friday and Saturday night were busy.
Yes.
Yep.
Even Wednesday.
Yeah. I probably had 16 to 18 hours out there myself, so I got to see quite a few people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I had people come up to me and they're like, "I was going to say hi to you, but you were talking to, 4 different people." And it's like, come up and say hi.
I would have rather been talking to you.
There are some cases where that is the case.
I suppose you get people that got something they've been wanting to talk to you
Oh,
about.
yes, all the time. Yeah. But that's what we're here for.
Sure.
That's what my job is. People have a question or they have something they don't like. I would prefer them come to me versus blowing up staff, because staff doesn't make policy,
Is this job more, quote unquote, politics than you thought it would be?
Yes. Yeah. I did not realize the amount of trips to St. Paul, letters to legislators, on behalf of, what we have to deal with public safety. The Public Safety Committee I've testified now in front of probably twice in the last 2.5 years. So, Mr. Duran is writing some additional legislation, and the fact that he was a former law enforcement
Right.
officer, it's one of those things where if he writes legislation and we believe in it, obviously we want to support that as well. It doesn't matter who you are,
Right.
common sense, public safety is what we're about.
So last week, I forget what day it was, the tornado sirens were being worked on.
PTSD for some people.
Yeah.
How many calls did dispatch get? I'm guessing a bunch.
Yeah, I did not talk to Janice about that, but I know every time that those things go off, whether we're testing them, and it can even be, what is it, the first Wednesday of the month that they get tested? Yeah, we still get some calls on them. So
It happens every month.
yeah,
What I think is funny is the post they had about that they were doing it.
And literally in the comments was, why are the sirens going off? Did you read the first part?
in the same post.
Yes.
No, I get there is a portion of society that does not have social media, and I can understand them. Like, I didn't, because pretty much everything that with a newspaper that only puts out, 2
Sure.
publications a week, the news that a lot of people get are through social media. And please believe me that it's always correct when you see social media. There's no clickbait
You
ever
should
involved.
Really, make sure it's showing up on, 50 social media posts from different people.
Okay. To the listeners, make sure your sarcasm meter is working.
Working,
Because the
please,
sheriff
yes.
is kidding.
Yes. Well, you know what irritates me is like somebody will throw clickbait out there with a picture. There was a picture of a female police officer from another jurisdiction, and it said she's been kidnapped, and I'm like, and possibly in the Beltrami County area. Please, do whatever. Please be on the lookout. Please pray for her. Blah blah blah. And I'll get on my personal account, I'll get 17 people asking me, "Is this true?" I'm like, if it's not on our website, like if it's not on our social media account, where like we would be the ones asking, like, "Hey, this is what's happened." Don't believe anything as it pertains to, social media stuff. My feeds now, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff on alien craft out in the, you watch one of those and you're going to get 75 of them over the next day and a half.
It's funny because as broadcasters, we've seen these social medias, and everybody loves them, right?
Yep.
We're actually regulated by the Federal Communications Commission, so we can't lie.
Right.
or we get in really big trouble.
Sure.
Social media has nothing like that.
Right.
And over the past, and it's even becoming more prevalent now, that consumers trust a message on the local radio station way more than they trust anything on social media.
100%. You know, one of the things, and I don't remember if I've talked about this, because we've talked about some pretty obscure things on this program, fellas. One of the things that really bothers me, and I was, the Minnesota Sheriff's Association has a public information officer that used to work for, I don't know if he's still with us, but he used to work for WCCO out of the Twin Cities. And we went to a leadership conference where they were talking about, back in the day, when a news media outlet would put out a story, and if it was wrong, they would do it.
They had to retract.
They would retract it. That doesn't happen today.
No.
This is an ongoing story, and we're just providing the details as we know them. And there's stuff that comes out that's just complete fabrication as it pertains to, like what happened. So you have an incident that involving in law enforcement, and the media just puts out what they want, and it's not even close. And, we have some local folks that do that too, no names mentioned, but it's very irritating from a perspective of trying to have the public have an understanding of safety, security, and correct information. And then there's no recourse for it. There's no accountability for it. They just say what it is, and this story has morphed into this now, and there's no apology, there's no nothing.
Well, it's like the old telephone game.
Yeah.
I tell you something, you tell Mark something, Mark tells somebody, and by the time we're all done with this,
right,
it's not even the same story.
Correct. Yep. So that's very frustrating, and we have to play damage control. Chief Maston and I have talked about this dozens of times, where stuff has come out in the public, and we're, rather than being able to do our jobs and move forward, we're having to go backwards sometimes and re-educate or talk to people about this or that, and it's just it's very frustrating.
How about do you get people? Dang, I'm not gonna find it now. Do you get people show you their phone saying, "Hey, look, am I in trouble for not paying a toll?"
All the time. I get those.
I haven't even been in Chicago.
I
don't know if I've ever been to a poll before.
Yeah. Through a pole.
Right? There's some that went out. I think it was earlier this week. So I had to pay a fine, or they were running me to jail.
Yeah, MnDOT, we don't even have tolls in Minnesota. So if you get something from MnDOT that says you owe a toll, it's complete.
Is that Illinois? Is our closest?
I think so.
Yeah, it might start in. No, it's Illinois. I'm pretty sure.
The only place I've ever experienced them.
Yeah, in Illinois, you got to pay as you go through every one of them, or at least we did. I don't know if we still do, but when you go down to Texas, you just jump on one and you go, and then they send you something in the mail. Remember get having that happen.
What's that?
I actually think the Easy Pass is the best invention maybe ever. As you go through the toll booth, it scans you and it deducts the $2 or whatever it is from your prepaid account.
Yeah.
You just keep on driving.
Yeah.
You don't even have to slow down.
Just you have to do it every day, right?
Right.
But we don't have tolls.
We do not have tolls. Do not fall for that scam.
Are scammers getting more and more crafty?
Well, with the, unfortunately with AI has benefited law enforcement to a degree, right? They're saying it's going to replace attorneys someday. Nobody get all twisted around the axle around that one. That's just what I've heard.
You've heard that?
Yes, I've heard that. I'm not saying that that's the case. You can't. I personally think the human element of things is
absolutely
way better. But with AI, when it comes to scams, the longer you stay on the phone, they record your voice. They can use AI to morph your voice into full conversations with people, and so when they'll use you to do whatever their bidding is. And so that's why we always encourage people, when you take a phone call from someone that you pretty much think is someone telling you won something or trying to sell you something, if you didn't ask for it, just hang up the phone. You don't need to be nice with them, just hang up the phone.
Read a story on ESPN over the weekend that was a little mind-boggling. Nigerian scammers are targeting U.S. high school athletes on Snapchat and Instagram, convincing them that they are from the next town or what have you. Getting this high school person to send a nude picture. Now they have blackmail material.
Yep.
And literally, these high school students are committing suicide within 30 minutes of the first interaction with these people.
Yep.
And I'm reading this going, 30 minutes? What? Parents, keep better tabs on what your kids are doing.
Absolutely. We're, I actually had this occurrence happen to a loved one. And, of course, I get notified about it, and I say, stop. Just stop. And thankfully, it never resulted in anything, serious. But started looking into it. We don't really prosecute anybody from Nigeria. We just can't. And unless you hit a certain dollar amount, the FBI doesn't even get involved on a domestic side of things. There was after doing a little bit of research on this, I did see that there was a case where a young man was that had committed suicide after something like this, and they actually went to another country and actually arrested the people involved in this situation. So the FBI does get involved in some of those circumstances, but it is very, very, people have this.
Go ahead.
Oh, people have this idea that everything means something when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, and a lot of this stuff, it can follow you around for life if you make really, really poor choices. But, something like this where you're blackmailed, you can get through it. It's not a big deal.
This particular story was in the UP. At the time was the county sheriff who was running to be the state something in Michigan.
Yep.
In law enforcement yet. And then knew somebody who knew somebody with the FBI, and they did go arrest these people in Nigeria.
Wow.
It was a mind-boggling story.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend?
Butchering chickens for anybody who wants to come over and help with that project. Now that the fair's over, I want to butcher chickens.
Want to eat?
Cutting trees, butchering chickens. Perfect. There's the music event, Christian Woodstock. May stop by and see. Mark, I was going to tell you, they don't make duty dudes.
Oh.
So be careful grinding stumps with your dudes.
You are far away from a stump grinder. It'd be impossible.
Nothing's impossible. Put real shoes on next time.
Sheriff, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.